So, how do we save the wall-warts? What is a wall-wart? Well, it's one of these. And you know, they're the little black boxes you plug into the wall socket and convert house current to the right voltage for your small electrical appliances, toys, whatever. If you've been around long enough, you got a bunch of them. And this is your chance to reuse them, particularly for a project. I don't know about you, but I got boxes of them. I have lists of them. And the problem, of course, is all of this. You have different voltages, different polarities, different connectors. And almost every time you look for one, it's not the one you need. But you can convert one to another. We can repurpose them, come up with an adapter. Either cut off and change to make the end different, or completely change everything. So what we need for this project is a wall-wart, of course, a buck or a boost converter. Buck decreases the voltage, boost increases. Some connectors to go from whatever you have to whatever you want, and basic soldering skills, voltmeters, stuff like that. Very small screwdriver, I might add. You'll see why in a minute. And of course, a project. In our case, we have a 2-camera video surveillance system, and one of the cameras failed. But I had an older black and white camera. Unfortunately, the system comes with a pigtail that gives you two 12-volt ends, or power supplies, but I can't fit that into the 7.5-volt camera. I'll probably blow it out. So I need a way to reduce the 12 to 7.5, so I need a buck converter. So as I said, one of the cameras has failed. Before I had that system, I had an old black and white system, and the camera is still around. I'm going to cut the end off it and hook it up to one of these connectors. Take the output from one half of the wall-wart, run it through a buck converter. There's the positive, the negative, and the positive and negative coming out will be whatever I select with this little pot. So let's get started. Here we've taken that 12-volt supply, run it through our connection where we soldered the input and the output. We've got taps on the input and the output, and the input is here. And there's nothing connected to it right now, so you see a flickering, and that's because of the rate that is refreshing the display. 16.8, but under load this will put out about 12 volts. And we've adjusted with this tiny, teeny little pot. We've adjusted the output, and that'll stay. No matter what's going in, that'll stay. So if I try to adjust that now, and it's very sensitive, by the way, as you can see. Doesn't take much. And I'm going maybe working on a quarter of a turn here. And that's close enough to get us to 7.5 volts out. 7.5. And that'll work. In addition to this little buck converter, you can get a buck boost converter like this one. And this one is nice because you put in 5 volts DC, that is USB. Got a nice easy adjustment, and you've got a display. So here's the original finished one, 12 volts to 7. Here's one I just made, which has not been set yet. We'll adjust this little pot here, and I'll use this for another project. I just wanted to share with you also, these little connectors, these little barrel connectors, come in really handy. A good example is you can use them to set up custom test leads. You may have seen me use these before. Of course, in this case, I've mix them up, but you can see how you could use specialized test leads and hook them up to your voltammeter. And it comes out very handy. You can also get these kinds of connectors and use your own wires. It's a little bulkier. I use these for testing, and these are for, once it's done, these are done. I keep them that way. And one more time on the buck boost converter. Here you can see this is putting out 6 volts. And I'm using these very connectors, 1, 2, 3, and you see it's putting out 6 volts. So I would get you some of these and some of these leads, make up some custom leads, and you can just do about anything. And this, like I said, this is a buck boost. So with this, with my 12 volt supply, I can actually go above. Now I will warn you, you got a power issue when you do that, particularly when you do that. But if you're just doing it, you just want to test a circuit, it's perfect. And here's the completed project. This is the screen. And you see there's the color camera. See that tree on the left? And this will be, you'll see that same tree right there with the black and white camera. And here's what it looks like. Here's the original for the color camera. There's the power line, video, audio, of course. And here's our little adapter placed in the power line. And it's dropping the voltage to 7.5 volts.